Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Still Standing. I'm Wayne Kavanaugh. With me is
Kimberly Meredith.
absolutely the two of us are still standing, and we are here to talk to you tonight about some wonderful things in the world of dogs, especially one of the, well, let's just say the most fun dog show officially in the world. Well, I have not been to Transylvania for the Dracula show. Well, I want to
Right.
go. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
But in North America, Woofstock has got it nailed, and it just went on. Huge success in spite of some challenges, led by yours truly over here, Kimberly Meredith. Tell me about it, Kim.
A whole team. I mean, whole team. I mean, talking about we are, and I'm just going to give our big team a shout out. We are a well-oiled machine. We've been together 20 plus years. There's no power plays. We're all friends. We all get along. We do things outside of dog shows, believe it or not. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And you can't subject yourself to this much work if you're not working with people that you really truly love and that have become family, and that's us.
Watching your team, you all seem to finish each other's sentences. It's like you all know what's going on. There's no big reason to have a powwow and a blowout. You all got it.
You know what? We've all done these jobs for so many years, and I have relinquished a lot to other people because in the beginning I did everything. I was like, I looked at, and I had a job at that point. I was actually working and doing it. I don't know. I was young. Youth was on my side.
You didn't live 3 states away either, right?
Correct.
Right. Well,
I lived in California.
Yeah. Right near.
No.
It's a little different.
Yeah. I made an occasional visit to Ohio when I had to.
Right. We got rid of that. We bred that out. We bred out the Ohio part. Yeah.
So anyway, this year, though, was a new venue for us. And we moved from the Solano County Fairgrounds, which we've been at for 20 plus years. And it's an old fairgrounds. The city is in bankruptcy. It's dirty. They don't fix anything. They don't paint anything. And we really just made the best of it. And other clubs had shows there, and it really shows just how degraded the fairgrounds is. And we put up all of our tie-dye and our flags and our lava lamps and all that. And everybody comes in really, honestly, Contra Costa County Kennel Club, which no one even really knows the name of our kennel club. And that's exactly how we wanted. Yeah. We wanted to be Woofstock. And we transform it. We put lipstick on a pig, and we made it work for 20 years. And we didn't go into details, but we got a new manager at the fairgrounds who decided that he did not want to have dog shows anymore. He fired his entire crew, everybody, all the people that worked there, one maintenance guy, fired the electrician, fired everybody. And it made it virtually impossible for us to have a dog show with our speakers and everything that their system was so broken down, we have to place speakers all over. And I have to give a shout out to Robert. All you people out there that are young are going to have no idea who I'm talking about. He is the road manager for the Tubes, and the Tubes are still performing. And he's just great. And he brings, all of his speakers and does all the wiring, and it takes days to get it done throughout the entire fairgrounds. So we left Solano County and we went to Woodland, California, which is a small town in farming country near Sacramento. And a lot of shows have moved there. So it seems like the exodus from Vallejo, people are either going to Turlock down south, or they're going to Woodland. And then they had shows at Dixon for a while. That seems like, I don't know, maybe Dixon didn't want to have dog shows. But we're big. We're larger than any of these shows. So we can't go to some of the smaller venues. Like we love the Napa Fairgrounds. And the Napa Wine Country Kennel Club has their show there, a lovely show ran by lovely people, but we park 300 motorhomes. So, there's just no way. So now we ended up in Woodland. The positive about Woodland is that it's clean, it's modern, cars don't get broken into. You don't have to worry about getting stabbed walking down the street.
This is true.
It has some nice restaurants in downtown Woodland that you can walk around safely. And there's lots of outbuildings, all of them with kitchens, and the kitchens are very, very clean. So we were able to put, I think we had 39 specialties. I'm just guessing. Eva Berg and Lois Wilfew run the specialties. I try to stay out of it as much as possible. But we had specialties on Thursday, our all breed on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it was June 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. No, I lied. June 5th, 6th, that's next year. June 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Each of these clubs and the buildings, one of them has actual air conditioning, but most of them have swamp coolers, which can or cannot be very effective. The large building, Expo Hall, where we decide you have to have the groups inside there because in June, it's very hot. Our first 2 days were 96, I think, and 97 one day. And then it jumped down to 81 next 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, with a light breeze, which was delightful. But we made the decision to rent 4 extra large swamp coolers that we put in each corner of Expo. Not cheap for sure, but I think necessary. And it's a learning curve. Like, we didn't realize with a swamp cooler, you have to have ventilation. You've got to have air for the hot air to escape. So everybody was running around closing the doors, trying to keep the cool, which actually made it very humid. And we were like, oh, this sucks. This isn't going to work. So then we learned, we leave 2 side doors open, leave 2 end doors open. And then it was fabulous in there. Not a lot of clubs could probably afford to do that, but we're going to do whatever it takes to make our exhibitors happy.
Well, the other thing is that state's near this. It's not far from Sacramento Airport. I used to have to fly to Sacramento and drive an hour to Vallejo.
Correct.
It seemed like it was that far. Maybe, I don't know, but this is close to the airport too, right?
About 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And what we had to do before, what I had to do was I had to get judges from SFO, San Francisco, or Oakland over to Vallejo, and that averaged $500 per person, $250 each way, and rightly so, because you're sitting in traffic. I mean, you just sit there in bumper to bumper traffic. So of course the transportation companies, keep that in mind. And now they fly into Sacramento, easy peasy. The hotel is about 15 minutes from the airport, and the show site's about 10 minutes from the airport.
Yeah.
So that is a big cost savings and a lot less hassle for me personally.
You also used to have to pay to get the armored cars come in from Brinks to get the judges from the hotel to the ring without getting shot, which was expensive.
Yeah, this is very true. And we don't have to worry about, now they finally did enclose the Marriott in Vallejo completely with fencing because they would come in and break in cars and run over the hill and take everything.
Nice property too. It was a nice hotel.
Yeah. Right off the freeway, lots of shade trees. It just had to come to an end. That's all there is to it. And working with a new fairground crew, which of course it creates, some changes. But overall, I think that, it was a really good move for us as far as the facilities. We can put a lot of our specialties in buildings inside, which of course, your terriers and your non-sporting and your toys and all of that. And we put some hounds in there with dachshunds and things went inside. What we did not anticipate, which started out very sad, is losing 5 judges off of our panel.
Now let's stop. This is not a little show. This is the 3rd largest dog show in America.
We have been for the last 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not talking about a few hundred. This is a giant dog show, around 2,000 dogs. So replacing 5 judges isn't done just like that, unless you're Woofstock. And a great crew of AKC reps and superintendents to pull. I don't know.
Yes.
Go ahead. It's mind-boggling to me that there'd be that many, but we'll get to that.
Well, I'm sure we set some sort of record. I mean, everybody seems to think so. MBF certainly seems to think so. So it started out, we had Dr. Woods from Canada. We have, by the way, we have 5 Labrador specialties in addition to showing for the 3 days. So we draw huge Labrador entries. We love our Labradors and our Labrador people. It's just, they're so cool. They just put on their wellies and their jeans and they go and they show their dogs. I mean, I love it. And pretty much anything goes. I mean, they just kind of roll with the punches, which is good. So Dr. Woods from Canada was judging. He's a very renowned Labrador breeder.
Giant, strong Labrador world, rightfully so. Wonderful.
A giant. Yeah. And the nicest human being you'll ever meet, and a good judge. Okay, what a rare combination, right? So about 3 weeks before the show, I received a call from him, and his wife had received some bad medical news. And he said, I obviously she's going to start treatment and I have to be home. I said, absolutely, of course, right? So I busily, got busy, and I had to bring in actually 2 judges to replace him. And actually 3, because we always hire breeder judges for the Labradors. So I brought in 3 judges to replace him. And then one of my replacements backed out. So I was down to two. And we're still going along. We have everything taken care of. We brought in Patty Keenan to do terriers and some other things. And then 3 days before the show, I get a call from a judge and said, I'm a retired nurse and I'm here with my husband. And he's quivering and he's got the shakes and he's cold and he's, in terrible pain. And I'm calling you from the ER. And she said, it sounds like to me, it's a kidney stone. And I said that I just had one about 8 months ago. I said, it sounds exactly like me crying, throwing up, shivers, shakes, in horrible pain. So she said, I think they're going to admit him. So I won't be there. And I said, okay, all right. Okay, I can deal with this.
You have to understand these things. There's nothing they can do about it. They want it.
There's no, absolutely not. I mean, these are legit,
Mm-hmm.
And so I get on the phone with our darling Kim at MBF, who I adore and is just the best. And we're working it out, trying to figure out, and trying to add another judge. So then 2 days before the show, I get a call I see Jimmy Moses's phone number on my phone. And I thought, this is not good. This was like 2 days before the show. I answered the phone like this. Hi, you better not be calling me to cancel. And he says something like, and I went, oh, you sound great. And he had that RSV flu that I had and that Marjorie Mortarella had, and it's vicious. It's kind of like having COVID, but you don't ever test positive. Actually, I'm a month past it right now, and I still can't smell or taste anything. It's crazy. So he said, I can't come. I went, okay. Okay. Then
by the way, Jimmy would crawl across glass to get to a dog show, right?
Absolutely. All of these people.
He lives, it's who he is. He'd never miss it. Yeah.
And he said that, he hasn't been able to eat and that he lost like 15 pounds. And I said, well, there's the upside.
Well, he didn't need to lose weight.
Yeah. So then, okay, how'd it go? Okay. So then this is the day before the show. So I was supposed to leave on Monday to go down and set up because the specialties are on Thursday. And I now am at home on the phone with MBF and trying to figure out and trying to hire people and do everything. So I end up, I have to leave on Wednesday because the specialties start on Thursday. So I'm getting ready to leave on Wednesday and the phone rings and it's another judge. And it's Marjorie. And I said, you better not be calling me to cancel. And she's having, how rude. I never even said hello. So, because at this point, I'm a stressed out mess. And so she said, look, she's been in and out of the hospital. She's having some issues. And she said, I can't fly. And I said, well, of course you can't. She explained everything going on. And I said, of course you can't. So now we're down 4. That's 4. So I'm scrambling.
You don't freak out. You go into planning mode. This is Kim.
You just go, we get the computer out, we round table, we start talking. And then I went and perused the specialty list of judges that were only supposed to be there on Thursday. And I'm calling the people from there that I know are really good judges that are doing specialties. And I'm like, okay, Daryl, hi. Guess what? You're going to judge on Thursday and then you're staying through Sunday and you're going to be judging. And he said, well, I may have some conflicts with another show. I said, get on the phone and call her and beg. What does she want? Money? Whatever it takes. Just get on the phone. So then I said to Peggy, you're staying through Sunday. Okay, I'm staying there. And then this is the really funny part. Well, a lot of it's funny, but some of it I can't talk about. But George Voltanovich, who we all adore and love and is a great judge, he had made arrangements to have to take the lead booth at the show. So we put him in a prime spot right by our T-shirt booth. And he brings a tent and he's got all of his stuff set up. And he's already set up outside. And I go running outside. I go, George, how you doing? He goes, I'm doing fine. Why? Is there a problem? I go, yeah, guess what? Take your booth down because you're judging. And he says, but I have to be here. I said, no, you can't. Take the booth down. I said, you're going to stay through Sunday and you're going to be judging. And he just stared at me. And I said, come on, George, come on, let's go. Come on. He goes, well, what am I judging? I said, well, to start off with, you're going to be doing hounds, and there's dachshunds, and it's a specialty, and there's about 70 entered. And he goes, what? He goes, but I don't judge hounds. I said, yeah,
You do
I
now.
know. I realize that. I realize that. Everybody was judging stuff that they weren't licensed for, right?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, only George, God bless him. He, he didn't sleep through the night. He watched videos. He read the Illustrated Standard. He was just, he studied. And then Patty Keenan says, I'll do everything except I won't do working and I won't do herding. I go, well, guess what? You're doing herding. And you're doing a Borzoi specialty. She goes, so I'm not licensed. I said, that's okay. Yeah, you're going to do some herding. You're going to do the Borzoi specialty. And I'm just scrambling. You're right, trying to get all this worked out. So then Friday, Thursday, the specialties go up. I'm still working on trying to put the panel together and pull everything together, find out who has conflicts as far as, time and distance. So Friday morning.
And by the way, in California, everybody's got a conflict of time.
Everybody has.
You only judge there once every 3 years. That's the way it works.
Exactly. So unless you put up the right dogs, and then they want you back, for some. But if you dump a dog, God forbid, they don't see you again for a year. So Friday morning, it's about 9:00. It's nice. It's nice and cool. And it's going to get hotter in the day, but it's like in mid 70s and light breeze. And I get a call on the walkie-talkie. You need to come to the ring. Come to the ring. And our dear darling Judy Brown is down, and the ambulance is on the way. And I was like, no, this can't even be true or real, which it was. And she had some issues with her blood pressure pills, and so off she goes in the ambulance. And I'm sitting there going, okay, so now Ken is judging, Eva's judging, I'm judging, Phil Freilich is judging, all my friends that I have, put through hell are judging. And we got through it. We absolutely got through it. Do you know that show went on time? Everything was on time. Now, everybody had different judges, everybody. Mm-hmm. But that we were on time, the rings were on time. When the handlers showed up, they were there, and the groups went on time. And it went well. I mean, I don't know. Larry Cornelius, our rep, said to me, I don't know what other club could have possibly pulled this off at your club.
And I'll bet he had he's so good at seeing the whole big picture and helping make it all work and knowing when to give you latitude and when not.
Right.
It's just the whole team. It's perfect. But, Kim, one of the things that crossed my mind with this is you've got people out there, Patty, George, people that can do this. Right. They don't have to jump to the hoops and there are people that have all the qualifications to do a dachshund specialty and would not be great at this. You got a guy who never judged him before. I bet he knocked that out of the park because he has a dog. He knows what the hell he's doing.
So listen to me. One of the top handlers that has been handling dachshunds for years came up to me and said, I have to tell you that he absolutely knocked it out of the ballpark. He said, I agreed with everything down to the classes on the wires and the smooths. And he said, the only thing I might have done, and I'm not so sure, was switch my best of breed and best of opposite for long hairs. And I said, and that's like 70 dogs. I said, I knew that. I knew it. I think what's happening, besides the fact that everybody bemoans it, and it's very true, that we have too many shows, too close together, yada, yada, yada. It goes on and on. But I think what's really critical right now is that our older, well-respected, well-tenured judges that people want to show to it and getting their opinion on a new dog means a lot to them, and they value, and they'll ask you later, well, so what do you think? And, our age group we're old, and we have illnesses and, weaknesses as far as health goes. And it's becoming more and more and more evident because
it's more arduous now. Travis, it's more stressful on your body and your brain. And it makes it difficult to stay healthy and stay in the groove. We just go through this all the time. And we've created a system where the good ones are going to get sick more. I have not been to a dog show in 2 years where there wasn't a substitution.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Exactly.
Every single
Exactly.
time.
Exactly.
And by the way, I was just thinking about this. I wasn't on your panel this year, obviously, because I was, and I've got another conflict. But if I was, I couldn't have come either because I was sick.
Exactly.
I couldn't.
It's terrible. I mean, and thankfully, none of these things are life-threatening, hopefully. But what are clubs going to do? I mean, like, we are a well-oiled machine. We are a well-oiled group, and we also have 4 judges in our club that all we judged almost all weekend, right? So, I mean, I don't know what these smaller clubs are going to do, and having 5 off of a 1,900 dog panel, whew,
Well,
we
And the thing, and the thing about about Woodstock, if you haven't been, and when people always say it's on my bucket list, you got to go because this can't go on forever. And Kim and the club made a brilliant choice a few years ago, and it was like this big thing. We had to write this press release about why you were cutting back from 15,000 shows to 3, which makes all. If you didn't do that, Kim, you could have never pulled. Even you guys couldn't have pulled that off. That was the smartest move you ever did. And it's not taking any shine off Woofstock. It's not taking the entry off, especially in the days of declining entry. You guys are really hanging in there. You have good judges. You make it fun. Someone said in a post on one of my articles, whatever happened to the fun and dog shows, and Linda, who we love, said it went to Woofstock. And she's right. If you want to have fun at dog shows, we have to forget this is supposed to be fun. We can't forget that. We have to keep it in mind. We have to forget all the nonsense and stuff and try to make it fun. And you guys have done that from day one. Those Vallejo Fairgrounds, as Kim said, not pretty, but you wouldn't know when you walked in there for 2 reasons. First of all, it was decorated so beautifully. Physically, that changes the appearance thing. Then you've got the music. And I'm sorry, I forget his name, Robert. Music guy?
Yeah, Robert.
He sets this atmosphere of the greatest music in the world that everybody, I don't care if you're 18 or 80, you know the words to those songs. That's the kind of playlist he comes up with. And when you have that music,
I remember Bob Birdwell. I'm going to crush you just here. Bob Birdwell selects all of our music, records all of our music. He plays the guitar himself. He's a musician. And when I first met him, when I had this crazy idea about my show, he said, "There's rumors going around that you're going to create this show with music and with tie dye." And I said, "Yeah, I am." And I had more naysayers, including AKC, by the way, that it was not the image they wanted to portray, et cetera. And then a lot of this is a stupid idea. And I said, well, here's the thing. You think outside the box. You make people want to come. You want to have people to have fun because dog shows aren't always fun. And it's either going to fall flat on its face or it's going to be wildly successful. There's not going to be any gray area here, right? And and to have the same crew that we have all 20 years and all stuff. How many clubs, break up? How many circuits because the clubs can't get along? Yeah. Right.
And you guys have taken this. So you walk in, you see this thing physically, your eyes are happy because you're seeing all those tie-dye, all happy. The people are happy. The music is setting this tone, and you're just in there. And there are people that we've known 40 years. There are men that I've known all my life that I've never seen in anything but a suit, right? Or jacket and tie. Yes. So they're there in tie-dye and shorts and flip-flops. This is exactly what the sport needs. You don't want to replicate it every week. It wouldn't be special. And some clubs do a job of making an effort, like a theme thing that works. Charlie and Liz just kill it with this casino and all that they do. And they deserve, by the way, congratulations to that Keystone cluster, as it should be, cluster of the year for them. They needed one of those. They've been so good. I'm so happy for them. But no one has quite pulled it off consistent like you have because of your group. And if you didn't have that extra stuff to create that environment, Vallejo would have been a total zip. If a regular show that size was held there, no one would go. And now you've brought. I didn't go this year. I can't wait to see what you do year 2 because I know that year 1 people were raving about. So you give that a year and get all the little kinks even. And more important, I also want to brag on this group. They sell a whole lot of tie-dye, right? A whole lot of tie-dye. And not to beat the history to death, because I've written about it, Kim's talked about it. This was a bankrupt club that actually Kim's idea and the group's idea of getting this thing done, of selling tie-dye T-shirts to raise money. Everyone thought that was funny. And it's become not only a hit, but you're modest about your generosity. You give more money away than any dog show I know of to your local businesses and people and causes from selling those T-shirts. And if you don't get there early Thursday morning, you're not getting one. So it's been.
Well, we had an issue this year because with the new venue, we only were 2 days last year, and then we added the third day this year. but we didn't want to we had some vintage left over from a year before, and we didn't know what people were going to do at this
Yeah.
new venue. It's, and we did get a lot of public in, by the way, which was nice in Farm
Good. You
Country.
live in a nicer
And
place.
yeah, which was, in Vallejo, you really didn't want that. You're like, no, stay away. And we sold the t-shirts out. We put them out on Thursday. Linda Roberts she's taken over from
Amazing.
me doing them. And she does a bang up job in her colors. I have on one right now.
Yes, you do.
Were great. And we chose to put them out on Thursday because she's like, I just want to sell it out. I want to sell them out. I to see where we are. Well, by Saturday morning, they were all gone. So Saturday, yeah. And we're toying with maybe doing pre-orders, maybe, but we haven't in the past. Yeah.
You don't need to. It's part of the fun. It's part of the whole gestalt. You get there early and you get excited. I got one. Just the whole thing.
Yeah, it's
works.
true. It's true.
It works for a lot of reasons. It works because you guys work together. It works because you've set this theme that has historically been a thing you want to collect every year. It's worked because you get a good judging panel and you know how to do this. You know how many shows I go to now where I'm the only one if I'm on 3 panels with David Kirkland the next couple of months, or have been, and another one's coming up. I not only adore David, but he's one of the best judges we have. Period.
Oh,
absolutely.
There's about 5 judges.
Yeah. And
there's 5 judges I would hire every single year if I could. You're one of them. David's one of them. Yeah.
It's just wonder. I was on a panel last week, or a couple weekends ago. It was David Kirkland, Angela Pickett, and I. Don't you think we talked about dogs, the breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all dogs, new dogs? There's 2 dogs in the Midwest right now that I'm telling you, and I don't do this often. They might be the most exciting new dogs I've seen in 25 years. One's a working dog, one's a terrier. And I'm telling you, these are great ones. I mean, great ones. Sorry, Brody. I didn't turn my do not disturb off, I guess. But we really have, it's exciting. So you got judges you can discuss it with. So the 3 of us are just like, we found a museum with a beautiful, it was so exciting. And then, which was perfect, Angela's provisional on a couple sporting breeds. The second day, I didn't have much of a load at all. We sat together and went over all the breeds together. We learned from each other. Why wouldn't you want to do that? If people were thinking about who we want to put up because we like them, you're full of air. Because I'm telling you, people who are passionate like we are talking about learning and sharing every moment of every day. You can do that at Woofstock with a good panel. You can do that.
And we get majors so that people can come and they can do ringsides, or they can do in rings if they want. I'm starting in the terrier group now, petrified, and I am now approved for 12 breeds, but I'm not stepping in the ring. I could even apply for more, but I am still doing in rings. I'm still sitting at ringside. I'm still doing kennel visits. It's like Bill McFadden came up to me on Saturday and he said, so are you ever going to judge those terriers you're approved for? And I said, no, not until I feel really ready. And he goes, okay, well, there's 2 clubs that really would like to hire you. But I told him I didn't know if you was judge. I said, well, when is it? He goes, it's next year. Is that going to be too soon? I'm like, I am not walking in that ring not knowing what I'm doing. And I think that most of us that have been around as long as we've been around feel the same way.
I have 3 invitations for specialties, 2 are nationals, that wanted me to judge for next year. I don't have those breeds. And I'm not even approved for those breeds. They said, well, I hope you will be by then. I said, well, I can't legally accept the assignment, and I can't tell you how long this process is going to take. There's 3 breeds I feel real comfortable with. But there are people out there who treat judging, getting breeds in groups like Cabbage Patch dolls. We got as many as we can, even though we don't know what we're going to do with the Cabbage Patch dolls once we get them. It's like dogs that chase cars. If they ever caught one, what are they going to do with it? Well, we find that out when they walk in the ring. I got the group. And they walk in, they're like, oh, what? They don't have any idea.
And they make fools out of themselves. This is a thing that when I was grabbing all of my friends and the specialty judges to judge, and like what George says, well, I don't judge hounds. And Patty said, well, I won't do it. I felt like Oprah. You get a car, you get a specialty, because these people are all good judges, and I knew they would do well, and they did.
And I'm telling you, knowing Larry, he could sit at that ring and go, that guy should be approved to judge oxes. And why wouldn't you want to do that? If he
Sure.
did his work, he did his homework, he shows he can do it, he has the background and the eye, two things you can't replicate. He has that. I'm sure I'd go over there and go, yep, he's ready. But no, can't do that. It's not fair. Fair
Right.
is you can run
Yeah.
around and get the most check boxes done and spend the most money going to seminars. That's fair.
I'm not, I
The
kind of think the
unfair
Brumby
system
way
of the
might
world.
have been the best way to go. We wouldn't be in this mess, and also, too many shows that
Those who
killed
don't
them.
remember, Len Brumby was the guy who just, now there are fewer shows and he would get to all of them because you could. But Len would walk around and go, "You're ready for the work group." And that's how the system worked. And you got it.
Yeah.
And you would
Yeah.
say, "No, I'm not." And he'd say, "Yeah, you are. You really are."
Mm.
And that made so much sense. The Brumby factor. I wrote about it last year. Half the people said, "Who the hell is Brumby?" And the other people said, "Hey, great idea." You can't fix this fairly. You've got to do it from the top of your brain, not your belly, and make it work. And
Sure.
we don't want to go there. Anyway, it was a roaring success. If you haven't been to Woofstock, and I'm not just here to pimp Kim's show. I think the bigger picture here is to promote having fun at dog shows, finding ways.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be tie-dye. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be a theme. You can find ways to make your dog show fun. Yeah, absolutely. Ice cream social, somebody did at the show couple. And everybody talked about it, right? There are things you can do to make your dog show fun. And one thing you can do is to hire good judges, not the ones who can just fill your dance card so you can make money. If you've got to do that, stop having your show. You don't have it.
Yeah.
You just have
I agree.
or
I
combine.
agree. I totally agree. Yeah. It's thinking outside the box. It's, also if clubs, they say they don't have any money. Well, like I started, no one was doing t-shirts and sweatshirts other than Westminster when I started this. And I thought, no, we're going to, capitalize on the tie-dye.
Mhm.
We make a huge amount of money. And that's why we're able to donate a lot of money is through our t-shirt sales. There's all kinds of things you can do. No one played music. I mean, nobody on the West Coast anyway played music. And I remember the feedback the first couple of years. Oh, it's scaring the dogs, and oh, it's this, and actually, one of our worst ones were the Labrador people. They had their crates over, and the speaker was there, and they kept turning the speaker off. And I walked over and I said, "Now listen to me. If you turn that speaker off one more time, you're going to be asked to leave the show. Our theme is peace, love, music, and dogs. And music is going to be the format of this show." And I said, "And furthermore, you should be able to shoot a gun over these dogs' heads."
Exactly.
Let's get rid of it here, right? And now it's like if the speaker goes off or like the speakers weren't done in time to get out to the specialties way in the back, which is a great little area in the back of the Woodland Fairgrounds that people don't even use that we implemented because we're bigger. And there were no speakers. Well, guess who came to me and said, Labrador people, we miss our music. Where's our music? So we ran out there. Robert put out, the speakers, and between Bob with his selection, if you've ever listened carefully, when he's got terrier songs and non-sporting dog songs, and then the people that judge the groups, he calls them and asks them what their favorite songs are, and then he plays that while they're judging. It's just a whole thing, it's a thing. Yeah.
And someone should do, because of the Woofstock theme, someone should do Willie Nelson's "Roll Me Up and Smoke Me When I Die." I think that would just be a perfect way to end your show.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I do.
That would have been a great farewell song for Vallejo. Anyway, really, it's not just about Woofstock. It's about, here's the big takeaways. You want to do the 5 takeaways?
Yeah.
Have a club that learns how to work together. It's like marriage. It doesn't just happen. You've got to work at it. And they work at the relationship by hanging together outside the sport and inside the sport. They have their assignments. They know who's good at what. It's not like, I want to be everybody does what they're good at. And by the way, here's a smart thing that Woofstock does. And you do it because it's great, but it also is smart financially. They put a spread out for the judges at best. The show's going to go late. It's a giant show. You can't get up as a judge. You can't go to people. "Oh, you're going to dinner tonight?" No, we're going to bed. We got to get up again. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. So you guys put out this incredible spread of food. No one needs to go to dinner. You can stay, watch the whole dog show, and all the judges, and you have a lot of, can eat and get a good meal.
And drink. We supply beer and wine and champagne, and we encourage them to have a little drink before they go in and do the groups. It's much more fun. Yeah.
But the food it's healthy and it's outstanding. So you're saving all the judges time, and you're saving the club money rather than having some of these people go out and charge up the world for their dinner or something, or cheat on them. You all sit there and eat and go to bed. It's all those little things that add up. Think of your clubs learning to have a great panel, having a good time, getting the right grounds, and trying to keep your club members engaged and happy, because that's really what this is all about. This is just people do all these things individually. When you put it all together, you get a Woofstock. So put it all together and do that, damn it. And also get 39 specialties. God bless Eva. It was used to be 50 something, right?
We're up at one point to 70. And we finally said, get the cane and hooker, because you can't, and then I'm going to just one little blurb with the specialty clubs. They're wonderful. They boost your entries big time. There's no doubt about it. However, working with them, the president only lasts usually for 6 months or a year at the outside, because they get fired or they get frustrated and they quit. So every year you think you've trained somebody. Oh no, it's a new person that's never done it before. They don't even get their paperwork in on time to AKC to get approved to hold their specialty. Right. And there's a lot of hand holding. And so no one has more patience than Eva and Lois, and Linda Roberts does it also. There's 3 of them on this, because you aren't even going to have 40 to 70 specialties if they can't even get their approvals done, so.
Well, these are hardworking, independent people who are doing these specialties. They're trying their best. You're right. They're all new, the newest person.
Exactly.
But I had one, this is how new they are. I did a giant specialty at a giant dog show weekend. And the next day, the judge canceled, and the club specialty chair called me and asked if I could do it again. So, no, you can't judge the same show 2 days in a row. But it's not her fault. She doesn't know. These are new people trying, and you work with them. You don't make fun of them, and you certainly don't get mad at them. You try to help them. So we did. We went and found another judge for them. But you've got to work together, and it can't be a contest. It's got to be the contest for the greater good. And the greater good is fun dog shows that are a reasonable size with breed entries that you can get your teeth into and talk about. This little show I went to a couple weeks ago in Maumee, Ohio, Toledo Kennel Club. I can't think of the woman's name, and she was terrific that runs it. Anyway, it was a great little show. It wasn't big. The judging panel, well, it's David and Angela and I and some other good ones, and the grounds were just like a polo field grass, perfectly cut and raked. It was great, all outdoors under giant shade trees. This place has nothing but giant shade trees with rings under them, no sun. It's beautiful. And they're the size they need to be for that club. And they work together. So it doesn't need to be a 3,000 dog show. It can be an 800 dog show that's done well, that can be fun. And I'm telling you, we had a blast out of a dog show. We really did. And we also found, I've seen these 2 dogs before, but I'm telling you, one's a terrier, one's a working dog. And I'm telling you, when you see, these are new. When you see these coming, if they're not,
that's what we all,
if they're not at the top of the heat next year, I'll turn in my license, because they are. We all
never.
Dave and I
don't want to hear those words come out of your mouth. Don't ever say that.
And there's
remember, we're still standing, Wayne.
I know.
So work up.
Oh, I don't know. I've got to apply for more breeds again, and it's just driving me crazy. It means I don't know. It just, and some of these breeds.
I know. Just buck up. Keep going. We need you.
There's things you can't put on your application. Like, we sat up next to Ted Young and Richard Bauer and Art Benhoff, all the great Cockers people. I have Cockers, but all the Cocker Spaniel people in the world happen to be in New England at the same time. And working for Forsyth, we sat up right next to them. We helped each other. We were there every day. Years of this, every weekend. I think I might know a little about Cocker Spaniels, but I had to put down all that other stuff. I couldn't put that. And one judge tried.
You should include it in your applications, because this is what we're lacking. Box checking. I'm tired of box checkers. I'll be doing an in-ring with somebody, or at ringside with somebody that I've made an arrangement. I've called in advance. And then these people will come running over, like 3 of them with paperwork in their hand, and kind of stand over the chairs and listen, and then say, will you sign my papers? And I tell the judges, no, do not sign the paper. This is not, we don't want box checkers, with that, I want to thank you for just loving Woofstock. I know so many people do. I'm hoping that one year, when things change, that we're going to get nominated for Show of the Year, because we've been sorely lacking, and it's been
your turn.
It's not Yes, yeah, exactly. And
I'm
fair
really
is
happy
fair.
for Charlie and Liz and that whole group. I don't mean to just Charlie and Liz it, but they've done a
Right.
great job and they need recognition
You
out
bet.
there. It's not as famous a show. It's getting there. But yeah, I mean, it's almost like you guys would win every year, and then someone else would be second. But
You know, we
you're
just
on the
love
West
the
Coast. Some people in New York think it's probably too much fun. It should be more serious.
Too much fun. Yeah, too much fun. There isn't any show that's too much fun. Trust me.
Never
I've
has
got
been.
even
Never
more
will be.
ideas. More ideas coming.
Keep it going. Keep it going. All right, Kim, let's wrap this one up. We're going to probably do another podcast today, and I'm too lazy to change. So instead of trying to fool you thinking it was 2 different days, I'm going to fess right up now. We're not going to change. You're going to see 2 of us in the same clothes. Now, that means for the poor editor, he's going to go, wait a second, maybe I should put my hat on back or something. Anyway, I need a haircut, thus the hat.
Lots of stuff to talk about, and we can't run them all together. It'd be 5 hours long. Yeah.
We're wrapping up our time here. Kim, thanks again. I will see you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't even thank you enough for the response we get on these, on the articles.
On your articles, especially, they're fabulous and they're truthful and they should create change.
I'm almost embarrassed to say and blown away 65,000 views on one article.
You bet. I'm not the least bit surprised.
And that's not to my writing. That's the fact that people are interested in these topics and want to do something.
Yeah.
As long as we're getting buying and interest in views, we know that people, and it ain't us, people are out there trying to do the same things and agree. With that agreement, we hope to move forward. Anyway, wrapping it up. It's been wonderful. We'll see you soon. I mean, real soon. Anyway, I'm Wayne Kavanaugh for Still Standing, and this is
Kimberly Meredith, and we're signing off.
And most important, we want to thank the Canine Chronicle for making this all possible, celebrating 50 years of excellence in the dog magazine. Read through them, look through them. I'm telling you, there's good stuff in here. Thank you all very much and for your support, and let's keep moving on because we're sitting right now, but we're still standing.
We're still standing.
Right. Good night, everyone. Thank you.